Cadillac's shift to electrification has finally advanced beyond the two-row mid-size Lyriq, which was an excellent first effort despite its somewhat rocky initial rollout that really helped put Cadillac on the map in the EV world. But now it's time to focus on this, the OPTIQ. This is one size down from the Lyriq, but it has just as much charm as that crossover. So far, the OPTIQs, they're looking pretty good, but does the OPTIQ have the substance to make you consider ditching your favorite European luxury brand or even fossil fuels entirely?
The 2025 OPTIQ, or as it should be pronounced, OPTIQ, is nearly 7 inches shorter in length than the Lyriq, with a 6-inch shorter wheelbase. It's also about 3 inches narrower, yet a tad bit taller overall, but in terms of cargo and passenger volume, it kind of feels more like a half step down in size. For example, with the second row seats up, you'll get 26 cubic feet of space and 57 cubic feet when you fold down the second row. Not too big of a drop, right?
Regarding the back seat of the OPTIQ, you'll notice that this rear door does not open super wide, so getting car seats back here might be somewhat of an issue, but getting a full-size adult back here, not a problem at all. And because technically this car is a little bit taller than the Lyriq, I actually have about an inch more headroom back here, even with a standard panoramic moonroof. These seats are also heated on the top trims, but of course, if I move into the center seat, you lose that luxury and you also lose a little bit of comfort. The seat back is pretty hard, but we don't have the typical hump you would find on the floor on a gas car. So if I wanted to put people beside me, I could move my feet out of the way and stick them right here. And then moving up front, you can definitely see more of the loss of width over the Lyriq. This definitely is a smaller car from this position, but I like that we have better visibility thanks to the quarter windows over there. And unlike older EVs that were also kind of narrow, like the BMW i3, this actually rides on wide tires, up to 275 millimeters versus 175 on that i3. So this shouldn't drive quite like an elephant riding roller skates, but we'll check that out in the drive portion. Cadillac says that the OPTIQ actually has a near 50-50 weight distribution, but out here on the canyon twisties, you still feel the weight of this car. Just like any other EV, this thing is a porker, and you definitely feel that weight in the curves. There are passive dampers that will adjust to help fix roll, dive, and pitch, but you're just still going to feel the shifting of the weight side to side. It's just hard to overcome that in a car like this, but I think Cadillac has done a really good job at keeping it composed and luxurious, which is still the ultimate mission. The ride quality is also really commendable for this segment. I'm really impressed with how smooth it is considering we have 21-inch wheels on this model, but because of the passive damper situation we have in the suspension, it does a good job of making all of the harsher impacts in the road pretty much fade away. In terms of power, 300 horsepower, 354 pound-feet of torque, and because of the tuning that Cadillac did, it doesn't feel as neck-snapping as something like the Genesis GV60 Performance, but it's still a luxury car at the end of the day, so I think it does the job just right. We're not supposed to call the platform this rides on the Ultium battery platform anymore. Instead, the new name will be now shown on your screen. What that translates to is an 85 kilowatt hour battery and dual motor all-wheel drive standard. So if you want a single motor compact crossover in the luxury space that's electric, you're gonna have to go with something like the Genesis GV60 rear wheel drive or one of the base model Audi Q4 or Q6 e-trons. Cadillac EVs will have access to 20,000 Tesla supercharger stations with a GM approved proprietary adapter that you do have to pay extra for. How much extra for, I don't exactly know. They didn't give me a number, but if I find it, I will put it on the screen for you. Last thing to note about the driving experience is how quiet this car is. They told us that there is double pane acoustic lamination on all of the windows in the car, so there's really not a lot of road noise, not a lot of wind noise, and the best part of all is we have a really, really good sound system in here, one that, frankly, I've never seen a car company talk about quite as much as this one. It is an 8KG premium audio system with Dolby Atmos spatial audio enabled. So if you can play a source of music that supports Dolby Atmos, you can actually get really good 3D spatial audio in this car. And right now the Dolby Atmos stuff is not available on the other Cadillac cars, but they told us starting in 2026, all Cadillac models will have this option. So if you are an audiophile like myself and you really appreciate sound design and good audio quality, this is definitely a sound system to check out. I'm also really happy with the entire view I have here of this dashboard. All the materials and color choices they used were really meticulously chosen, and a lot of them come from recycled materials, including this fabric on the dashboard right here. There's actually recycled newspapers in this wood-looking trim right here. You can actually see some of the lettering from the original print. So each one of these cars will have a different set of letters and words to find in the details. So that's pretty cool. They put a lot of effort into this interior, and Cadillac has been doing such a great job at that. And this is just another example of their dedication to giving you a really modern yet elegant and luxurious experience. The one thing about this interior that I'm not a fan of, though, is the continued lack of phone mirroring options. There is no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and there are a lot of times where I do miss some of the ways that Android Auto interacts with your phone versus having to sign into the system and have all of your Google information in the car. Some people, like myself, find that it's a little bit more cumbersome actually to interact with. And then don't get me started with iPhone people, because they have nothing to work with in here. They don't even have Apple Music available yet. You cannot download that from the Google Play Store yet. It kind of neuters the car in a way, because the system is really well done, but a lot of people are going to have to just Bluetooth stream their songs like we used to do 10 years ago. So, you know, that's the downside for a lot of people. Not for me personally too much, but I get why it's a concern. It wouldn't be a video about a new General Motors vehicle without mentioning Super Cruise, which is their excellent level 2 hands-free driving assistant, and it is standard on every OPTIQ for 3 years. And as we've mentioned before in other videos, they have expanded the road mapping for Super Cruise to over 750,000 miles of American roadways, including what we are on right now, the 101 freeway, which is very twisty, very windy. I'm still feeling pretty confident in how it's taking this turn right now. So that's really impressive. Yeah, Super Cruise is a really, really good deal, and the fact that you get it on every OPTIQ is a really nice thing. So,
now, if you don't trust any car to do all of that driving for you, rest assured, because the OPTIQ still comes standard with every other active safety feature you can think of. If it hasn't become clear yet, let's just say you don't have much decision making to do in order to spec your OPTIQ. There are 2 trim level themes, Luxury and Sport, each with 2 levels of equipment to choose from. If you go for a Luxury or Sport 1 trim, you get pretty much everything we've already covered, which already makes this feel like a screaming deal. Go for Luxury or Sport 2, and you'll see the addition of things like the choreographed exterior light show, adaptive and self-leveling automatic headlights, cooled front seats with lumbar massage, memory settings for the front passenger seat, and the addition of 2 ways of adjustments to that seat, plus heated rear seats, a head-up display, and a handful of additional interior color themes. Premium paint colors range from $625 to $1,225 in price, while the 19.2 kilowatt AC charging upgrade will cost you $1,580. That might be a worthwhile upgrade if you plan to prioritize at-home or level 2 public charging, considering that the 150 kilowatt DC fast charging isn't as impressive as what you'll find in the competition from Genesis or Audi. Speaking of the competition, since you're watching this video, you're probably shopping around for a new car. Click on the link in the top right corner to find Kelley Blue Book's fair purchase price on that next big swap.
So aside from the somewhat uncompetitive DC fast charging speeds and the lack of wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, or even wired versions of those phone mirroring systems, there's not much to dislike about the OPTIQ. Cadillac has priced this car exceptionally for how well equipped it is even at the base level. And the extra goodies you get by upgrading to a level 2 trim are really just that, goodies. So you probably could do without most of them and still have an excellent experience with your OPTIQ. Plus, the minor losses and some gains in interior space for passengers and cargo mean you might not actually have to step up to the $60,000 Lyriq in order to be comfortable. And as of this filming, all versions of the OPTIQ will qualify for the full $7,500 federal EV tax credit. But even without the tax credit, the Cadillac OPTIQ might just be the right EV for luxury buyers at the right time. Good job to Cadillac for making this feel like I'm riding on smaller wheels. Because I like big wheels, and I cannot lie.
You're really fun to edit you.
Yeah, I hate it for them.